Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear my voice and also see my screen clearly. Today is 28th of February. So today I want us to look at the Pinbar strategy. Remember, we had a webinar before which we talked about the same thing. We talked about pin bars. We mentioned instances when the pin bar was supposed to be used. We defined pin bars. And if we just have to visit back what we said, this is what I have to explain about it. So any candle which has a long tail on one side but a relatively small body on the other side, having a small tail on that side which is the body, then that's defined as a pin bar. Like if we have this, assuming we have this one, this is, take this as a candle, a green candle, like this, and then we give it a tail. So this is what is defined as a pin bar. A candle that has a long tail on one side but a small body on the other side. Then there is the side which has the body actually has a very small tail compared to the one at the very top. So some people may say that the body should be at least the tail should be at least 3 times the size of the body, which is okay, and then there should not be any tail below, or the tail, if it's there, must be very small. So this is the definition for a pin bar. This is a bearish pin bar. The other type of pin bar, we also have this. This is also a pin bar. We give it a red. So whenever you look at a pin bar, the color is irrelevant. Like the color of that pin bar remains irrelevant. What is important is the body size and also the tail for that candle. If you have a candle which has a very long tail on one side, like in this case the color is red, yes, we have the body of the candle which is red, the tail is also red, very long on one side. The same thing here, the body is green, the tail is very long on one side. Then these two candles are known as the bearish pin bar candles. Anytime you have a candle which has one long tail at the top, one long tail at the top, and then there is a small tail at the bottom, like the way I have them here, then these are known as bearish pin bar candles. So we'll put that name here. The word bearish means sell candles. Bearish pin bar candles indicates possible sell. I'm using the word possible because it's not a guarantee that if you pick a sell when this happens, that sell will go the correct way. But whenever you see this candle, there are high chances that the price may continue to the lower side. There are chances that the next few candles may proceed even lower. So look at this. We have this pin bar. This one, this is the exact same pin bar as the one we have here. It is bearish pin bar. And then you also have this a bearish pin bar. You can see that the tail at the bottom is a bit bigger. It's a bit bigger. It shouldn't be like this. This is a perfect case of a bearish pin bar, the one which has no tail at the bottom. This one. This is a very good sign for a sell. And then we have another bearish pin bar. This one. And then we have, this is not a pin bar. The candle which this has a long tail at the top, a long tail at the bottom. So this is not a good pin bar. Let's move back to the past and see if there's anything. We have this. This is a good pin bar because the candle has a very small body, a very long tail at the top. And then we have this also looks like some pin bar, but not a very good one, although it has a tail at the top and the tail at the bottom. It has a long tail at the top and a small tail at the bottom. Then we have this. This is a bearish pin bar. So this candle here, the one we have, this is a very good indication that the price may continue to the lower side. It indicates that the price may likely proceed to the lower side. In this case, that has not happened. Instead, the price has pulled back and even went beyond the high of the pin bar itself. So this can happen. Don't get me wrong, this can happen, although the pin bar is a very good sign that the price is continuing in a given direction, but sometimes it may fail. Like in this case, if you see a pin bar and you took the sell here, most likely you are stopped out when the price went above the high of this candle. There's another one. This looks like a pin bar, but it's not a very good pin bar. And then we have this one. This is a pin bar. The price tried going up, but then eventually it came down, went some pips. This is almost, how many pips? This is around 95 pips. Then we have this. This is a very good bearish pin bar. So as you can see, there are some cases where the pin bar will form correctly. It is perfectly a pin bar. It has a long tail at the top. It has a small tail at the bottom. The body is at least three times the size of the longer tail. But the price still goes against you. This is okay. So whenever you see something like this, do not find yourself getting irritated that the price has not gone away. It doesn't have to work, because you have to combine this with the strategy. The nature of a candle is not enough for you to start entering a trade. You must combine that with a strategy or some indicator just to confirm the position that the candle is showing you. So if this is showing you a sell, like we've said that the pin bar, bearish pin bar shows you a sell, have some indicator which shows the same thing. Have some indicator which confirms the position you're having. So if you have the sell here, you're looking for a sell. Also ensure that there is another thing other than just the candle itself. There's maybe some indicator, maybe some strategy, maybe support levels, resistance levels that are confirming the same position. We also have another pin bar here. This looks very good. The price went down just some few pips before it came back to take our stop loss. And then we have this one. This is also a pin bar. So this is a very good pin bar, just that there's a slightly bigger tail at the bottom, but it's still a pin bar. Let me put my mark there. This is still a pin bar. We have this here. This is a pin bar. And then we have, it's exactly a bearish pin bar. And then we have this. This is a bearish pin bar. And then we also have this. That's a bearish pin bar. Then we have this as a bearish pin bar. So far this is the biggest candle we are seeing, which is also a pin bar. The others have been very small candles. You compare the high and the low, has been very small, but this is one big candle which is also a pin bar. You can see that even with this, the price didn't go our way directly. It just went away for one candle. After that, it started to go against the opposite direction. Look at what happened. It went up, even hitting the high of this candle, the pin bar itself. It was hit somewhere there before the price eventually went our way. We have another pin bar here. And then we have another pin bar, this one. So basically, those are some of the few examples of pin bars. I want us now to look at the other type of pin bar, which is the one which now shows you that you're supposed to be buying. It's opposite this. It looks like this. So as I've said with the bearish pin bar candles, the color is insignificant. All of them just mean the same thing. This is now a bullish pin bar candle. Bullish pin bar candles. Bullish pin bar candles. Possible buying. So as I mentioned with the other one, the word possible means it's not a guarantee that whenever you see the pin bar, the price is going to proceed in that direction. In some cases, you may see a very good pin bar, but then the price fails to go that way. So such cases, what remains is how well you're calculating your risk. If you know how to calculate your risk the correct way, then even if the price goes against you, you'll still find yourself on the correct path. Are we on the same page? Okay, so I want us to look at maybe just two examples of how bullish pin bars looks like on the real chart before we can now turn this into some strategy which you can follow whenever we're trading. So we have this candle here. This is a very good pin bar. Look at this. Very small, a very small body, a relatively very long body on a tail on one side, and a very small body on the tail on the upper side. Then we have this one. This is now another bullish pin bar candle. This one, just the candle before the current candle. This is also another bullish pin bar candle. This one, and then we have this. This one. Then another one. Let's see. back in the past if there's anything, any pin bar which looks very good. We have this. Yeah, this is a very good pin bar. Look at how small the body is, the tail at the bottom, and then there's the small tail at the top. And then we have with another one. This is not a good pin bar, so don't get misled by it. This is not a good pin bar. This is a big indecision candle. And then we have this. This is a bullish pin bar candle. And then we also have this as a bullish pin bar candle. This one. Yeah. So this is another bullish pin bar candle. This one. Yeah. If you're on this chart now, then this if you see a sign like this, a candle which has a long tail at the bottom but a very small body and a very small tail on the opposite side, then that may indicate that we are continuing to the upper side. So how we turn this into strategy is you cannot just rely strictly on the candle itself. That is, if you see, maybe you've seen a candle which looks like this, it has a long tail, you cannot just blindly buy just because this is a pin bar. It's not good at all. You cannot just buy simply because this is a tail, like the candle has a tail. Please attach something else which indicates the trend. So like we may use moving averages. You can use moving averages. You can use ADX indicator. You can use Bollinger Bands indicator, or you can use the envelopes indicators to determine the trend. But mostly I keep it simple. Remain with the moving average. So we'll attach our moving average on this chart. This is a 21 period moving average. 21 period moving average. So how we use this is this. Whenever the price is below, like if the previous candle closed below the moving average, then that means we are continuing in the to the lower side. So if the previous candle closed below the moving average, that's a sign for a sell. But if the previous candle closed above the moving average, then that means we are in an active uptrend. So as it is now, you can see that there's several cases where we had bullish pin bar while the price was in a downtrend. So first, the moving average help us to get the direction, whether we are upwards or we are downwards. So the direction you can also, other than the moving average, you may use Bollinger Bands, as I've said. You may use the average directional movement index, as I've said. You may also use envelopes indicator. You may also use, there are several tons of indicators which you can use to establish the trend. Let me just give you some few names. We have the moving average. We have, we have the moving average. We have the average directional movement index. We have Bollinger Bands. We have envelopes. We have Ichimoku. And then we have parabolic SAR. Then we have the standard deviation. So all this, if you go to insert menu option indicators, then there's the category which falls under trend category. So all those are trend indicators. You may use them to establish the trend, and then you now combine that trend with the moving with the candles themselves, the nature of candles. So if you have the previous candle closing above the moving average, then you see a bullish pin bar, then that indicates we are in an active uptrend. So any close above the moving average, and then you see a bullish pin bar, that means we are in an active uptrend. Like in this case here, this red candle closed below the moving average, the price continued down, and then we see some bearish pin bar. This one, this is a bearish pin bar. What this indicates is a sell. So if the price goes down, another thing, if you sell it there, have your stop loss at the top of that candle, at the tip of that candle. So that would mean this. Just a second, let me remove the red line you're seeing on the screen. This horizontal red line, this is basically just the ask line. It's out now. So when you see this pin bar, you sell it, have your stop loss above this high. If the price continues down, you can see that there's a bullish pin bar here. But we can't just buy this because we are in a downtrend based on the other indicator. So we'll wait for price to go down. It comes back down. then it comes here and then gives us this sell signal. So when you see this, you pick that sell, you have your stop loss at the high of that candle like this, and then your take profit maybe can be 2 times the body size of the pin by itself. You may come up with your own pips of profit, so that you take profit based on some pips, or you may just take profits based as like the size of this candle, 2 times the size of the candle. That is 2 times where you have the stop loss at. The price has gone down, came back up, and then we now see a bullish pin bar. So this bullish pin bar is happening above the moving. So you pick that position, you have your stop loss below the low of that bullish pin bar. Your take profit is 2 times the size of the pin by itself. In this case, you can see that the price actually went and took your stop loss here. So you lost there. And these ones, you can see we have bullish pin bar, 2 bullish pin backhands. But as I've said, you can't buy this. You can't buy it because you cannot just buy it because the trend is bearish. So we want cases where there is uniformity. That's the move price is showing us the same thing. That's the candles are bullish or bearish, and then the moving average is also confirming the same thing. That's the only time when we pick that position. We have another one. This is a bullish pin bar candle. It's upwards. So this means if you see this, it has closed above the moving average, which means we are upwards. So you're supposed to pick that position. It has gone nicely. And then we have this. This is also a bearish pin bar. It has closed below the moving average, so we pick a sell position. And this is a bearish pin bar candle. We can't sell it because the price is above the moving average. And this is a bullish pin bar. We took that buy somehow. I think maybe this hit the take profit. It's not a very good one. And then we have a bearish pin bar. This is happening below the moving average, so this is a sell. So as I was saying, the fact that you have a pin bar on any candle, maybe a bearish pin, act as an indication that the price is going to continue in that direction. Like if you see pin bars like this, do not just jump into that trade hoping that the price will continue in that direction. Wait for some indications. Wait for price to, well, like wait for, maybe if you have an indicator, wait for that indicator to confirm the same position. And even better, if a pin bar can form around a key level, that could mean we are possibly reversing from that level. Like if you have a resistance level and then the price goes up to that level, does not break beyond it, instead you see a pin bar, then in that case the pin bar acts as a very good rejection sign, and it may mean that the price is continuing in that direction opposite where the level is. Like if we have this looks like some good resistance, some resistance here, then you see a pin bar around the same place. This is always the correct place to look for a sell from. So pin bar appearing around a key level gives a good sign for a trade. Pin bar appearing along a trend also gives the correct place to look for a trade. Does that make sense? Okay. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's session. We'll meet again next week at the same time. So thank you. See you.